Scientists at the University of Limerick have responded to the shortage of the reagents needed for coronavirus testing by preparing a solution now being used at the city's acute hospital. It's expected larger batches will now be produced by pharma companies to meet the demand as the testing of patients rises significantly in the coming weeks.
In the past week, scientists at the Bernal Institute at UL have been busy making batches of a lysis buffer. It's an essential solution needed to break open cell membranes in the testing process. But there's a huge international shortage now because of the Covid-19 crisis, and hospitals are running short.
It was put out early last week that there was a shortage of this reagents, and a call was put out to see would we have those reagents in our lab, which we do. A small volume was made last week, was prepared, was dropped out to the hospital for validation. This was validated by UHL against one of the commercially prepared products. We got the go-ahead then the following day that it had passed validation, so we came back into the lab to prepare another volume.
The validation means larger volumes of the solution can now be undertaken by pharma companies, particularly as testing of patients increases.
Well, the pharma companies are looking after the upscaling of it, so they'll be looking at sourcing larger quantities of the reagents needed and scaling up. We can only do a small scale here in the research labs, but we're waiting on another shipment and we will be back in the lab. We will make another small volume, but it's definitely being used in the hospital, and it's a stopgap because there's definitely a week-to-week scramble for reagents.
Further research is also underway by the COVID UL Action Group about life for our communities post this crisis, what it means and how people and society can recover.
So maybe considering how do we know somebody has recovered, so what antibodies are present when somebody has had COVID-19, as well as how they've experienced that and what their physical, psychological experience has been, and then how society has experienced it.
Cathy Halloran, RTE News, Limerick.